Greetings. You're listening to Rebels Remembered, featuring Caitlin DeFord and Kelsey DeFord.
Greetings, travelers across the galaxy. I am Caitlin.
I am Kelsey.
This is Rebels Remembered, and this week we are discussing Season 4, Episode 6, Flight of the Defender. This episode originally aired on October 30th, 2017. Synopsis reads, Ezra and Sabine manage to grab an Imperial prototype TIE fighter, but must rely on some unexpected assistance to escape from Thrawn. This is written by Dave Filoni and Stephen Melching, directed by Thrawn Arrives, and I think this is the first time Dave Filoni, we haven't seen him write an episode in a while, I think.
I think so, yeah. Seems like he wrote more for the last season. Maybe that's just me.
Some trivia on this episode. So the highlight of this episode for me was the Loth cats. They were so adorable.
Very cute.
So cute. The sounds they make are recordings of Dave Accord's cat named Tex. He's a sound designer at Lucasfilm.
Aww.
His other cat, Porkchop, his purr was the source of Kylo Ren's Force Rumble sound effect in The Force Awakens.
That's cool. It has a cat purring in The Force Awakens.
I just thought it was funny because when these two Loth cats pop up, you were like, oh, that sounds like our cat, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I wonder if it is a cat. Like an actual,
See, I wasn't thinking that. I was like, oh, they did a really good job making them sound like cats.
And it actually is a cat. In many ways, this episode is an evolution of the We Still a TIE Fighter storyline from Season 1 Fight or Flight, but now with stakes and dangers raised exponentially. I think they mentioned this. It's kind of similar to when Ezra and Zeb stole a TIE Fighter.
Yes. But they could easily hide back then and ditch it and, no problem. This is, the TIE Defender is such integral to the season, and also just to the Empire in general. But, so the stakes significantly higher than this episode.
So for our episode activity, it's more of a discussion question.
Oh, okay.
It is called Unexpected Allies. So Star Wars Rebels is known to have certain animals or allies aid them in their escape. In this episode, we get our first appearance of a Loth wolf, which helps them out. What are some other moments in the previous seasons where this has occurred, and why do you think this is?
That's a good question. So the one right off the bat that I remember is the TBDs.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's in Season 1 when they become part of Hera's fleet. Because they think it's the Ghost or the Phantom is another TBD, one of them. So that's the first thing that came to my mind. But sometimes it can be also, like, unintentionally.
Yeah.
I think, well, not unintentional, like Ezra using the Force to connect with animals. That's something that's been very clear throughout the show. The one that pops in my mind there is, like, he uses the Force on a Loth cat to take down a probe droid. I can't remember what episode that was in, but for that cat to be there, so I guess kind of unintentional. That cat was there for him to, like, take control of. Why is that a thing or a theme?
Well, also, you're talking about intent. In this episode, we have the Loth wolf help them, but also the Loth cats help them. They become the distraction.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional, because they were following Ezra around, which is adorable, but I was like...
Yeah, he wasn't using the Force to control them. They just kind of like, oh, you need a distraction, we'll hobble up there and, attack these stormtroopers. It was very cute, but I'm like, they're helping out, but do they know what they're doing?
Yeah, that was my question. I was like, okay, well, maybe they're just doing the cat things, and they just happen to... But they lead those stormtroopers away so far. And I'm sorry, those guys are idiots. They follow these guys.
Dude, after I got attacked once, I'd be like, good riddance, I'm not chasing you again.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just going to stand in my post.
They follow them for, like, off wherever the TIE factory or wherever the TIE defenders were. So I'm like, how far did you chase these cats for? Like,
not the brightest stormtroopers guarding that TIE defender. But I feel like throughout Star Wars in general, the Force is in everything. Like,
Yeah.
every living thing, and animals are living. So, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with that.
Well, Bendu, is he an animal? He helped them unexpectedly in season 3.
That's true.
The Purgle helped them. See, it's a recurring theme.
Yeah.
So you're right. It might just be because they're so connected with the Force, or it might just be because Ezra has that connection to creatures.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be that. It could also be that Dave Filoni just likes animals.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Because for people that don't know, Dave Filoni worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and there's so many animal moments in that show. Like, not just with Appa and Momo, but like the spirit animals too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's always like connection with animals and stuff he works on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why is it the case. That's
Well, tying it to season 1 earlier, so not season 1, but previous seasons, in Legacy, Ezra follows a white Loth cat.
I forgot about that.
In this episode, it helps him and Sabine out when they're hiding the hyperdrive, and then it sits on top of the Loth wolf.
Okay, but question: the white Loth cat I thought in Legacy belonged to Ryder.
I don't know.
So, wait, no, he says. I think Ryder's even confused about why it's falling around.
Yeah.
Doo-doo.
Mystical Loth cat.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe. I mean, I think that it's about the Force connection and just connection in general across Star Wars. Connection between people and animals, people and machines like Chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just about the emphasis on connection. Yeah, we're gonna get more into Force mysticism with animals, I think, in the next episode.
Yeah, definitely. The Loth wolves aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, but why? I don't know. Sorry, I meant to have like a very profound answer to that.
No, you're good. I liked your answer about connection. That makes a lot of sense. Because you're right, Star Wars is about connecting with people, with animals, with droids. See, I didn't even think about droids.
Mm-hmm. Places.
Yeah.
You know, Ezra has a connection to Lothal. That's his home. Yeah.
Connection. Keyword.
Can I get a connection? Can I get...
What did you rate this episode? I know a lot happens in it.
A lot does happen. And so, for me, I didn't really remember a lot of it. When I was watching, I was like, some of this feels new to me.
Same. I had the same thing.
Maybe that's because I haven't rewatched the episodes of season 4 as much as 1 and 2. But I don't think I've rated it yet. Let me think. I'll give it a 6.
I gave it a 7 for some reason.
I mean, a lot does happen, but at the same time, a lot doesn't happen. If that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying.
Like it's sort of like, you know, this plan of, it was originally supposed to be reconnaissing the TIE Defender.
Yeah.
They ended up taking it. And it's pretty much fight or flight, you know, trying to figure out how to get away. Mm-hmm. But once the Loth Wolf shows up, it's kind of just them.
Oh, true, yeah.
Wandering, following this Loth, or Ezra, with, you know, Sabine got knocked out, on this Loth Wolf. And yeah, I think it's one of those episodes that you have more questions walking away from it.
That's
because,
true.
I mean, yes, a lot has happened, but at the same time, they crashed the TIE Defender, and the hyperdrive is still sitting out in the desert, covered by a rock. I mean...
I will say, yeah, that's true about this season, is like each episode leads into each one.
I didn't realize that was a thing until we watched The Occupation, not knowing it was going to lead into this one. I completely forgot about that. I thought it was just on its own, you know.
It's very more episodic, like, overall.
An arc, yeah. It's more arc about the TIE Defender factory, pretty much.
Yeah.
And liberating Lothal.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you give it a 7?
I don't know. Maybe the cats did it for me. They bumped it up like one.
Yellow cats.
It had good pacing. I wasn't bored, but again, this is like the second time I've seen it since it aired, so it was like watching a new episode for me at the same time. So that might be why I rated it higher. I can't read my own handwriting. I think another reason I rated it high, like 7, is it felt very much to me like a season 1 episode.
That's true.
Like, they're on Loth. It felt very familiar, but different at the same time. I don't know. I got season 1 vibes from it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the characters haven't developed any, but like just the
plot.
The plot overall felt very season 1 to me.
Like, they're still doing things to help Lothal, but it's also benefiting the fleet. They're, you know, like, they're gonna, I think, get the flight data recorder that Sabine swiped, which is, I think, in the desert. Or did they hand it over? I can't remember. They did hand it over. Okay, yeah. So, still those small missions that we remember fondly from season 1, but bigger stakes of doing those. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of my favorite moments in this episode. Ezra's growth, which I'm like the number 1 Ezra fan sitting here. Him taking on those stormtroopers with a blaster, with his saber, all the cool sick moves he does, the cool slide he does, like, so dope. But me and you had a similar thing with that, happening, where he tells Ryder and Zed, like, go, me and Sabine will figure a way out of here. I had this thought, and I thought it was just me until we had a discussion about it. I'm like, he's so much like Kanan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's so crazy to me. Like, especially if you look at the previous seasons and in this episode.
Right.
Like,
and I do wonder, like, if I could ask Taylor Gray a question, it would be, were you channeling some Freddy there? Or was it just, you know, you being Ezra channeling, you know, he's older and he's more wiser.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had the same thing. I don't know if it was his delivery, the way he delivered that line, partly, but just, you know, that writing of him doing that. Y'all get out of here, we got it, you know. Very much like Kanan. Like, we see Kanan in season 1 telling Hera, get away, you know, when they were with the Wookiees, you know, she's like, well, I'm not leaving you. He's like, well, crap, I gotta pull out my lightsaber and, you know. Or when he gives himself up in, what's it?
Call to Action.
Call to Action, he gives himself up. So that theme of self-sacrifice, that Ezra's channeling, but it was also the delivery of that. I don't know what it was. Just like, that sounds like Kanan. Like,
yeah. Another part I liked in this episode was Thrawn arriving, because there is some humor in this episode too, which another reason I liked it. I don't know if I said that yet or not, but when Thrawn arrives, and Sabine's like, "Oh, we'll just stall them," and he's like, "It's Thrawn. What am I supposed to do?" And then Ezra does all that cool sick stuff, and he just goes, "Hi," and then Thrawn's response is fascinating or interesting.
Yeah.
Which to me was funny. I don't know why.
Maybe he's, like, amazed that, like, that's interesting that you would show yourself like that. Or very dumb. I don't know what his thought process was in saying that, but...
I also liked how Thrawn is still, even with the humor in this episode, Thrawn is still a force to be reckoned with, because the whole point of him coming was to see this TIE Defender in action. Well, when Sabine and Ezra steal it, he's like, oh, I can still get a demonstration.
That's true. You get 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I do love, I have to mention it because Hera is my girl. They're like, they're asking who the pilot is. And then Thrawn's response is, well, we know it's not Hera Syndulla because these fighters wouldn't stand a chance against her. It's like, well, thank you for showing respect for your enemy, Thrawn. You understand. Yeah, I like that part. Another thing that we're going to get into in throughout the rest of the season with the whole TIE Defender, though, I saw this on Reddit. I know, we're going into Reddit. Someone said that this whole season is about Thrawn trying to demonstrate to the Emperor why this is a good idea to invest in these TIE Defenders.
Oh.
Because guess what other project is going on at this time?
The Death Star?
The Death Star. So he's trying to, you know, imagine like you work for a big corporation and you're trying to defend all this money that you're peddling out, all this resources for this TIE Defender, you know. With the Emperor, it's like, why do I need a TIE Defender or this big space station? And so I read that, I was like, that's very interesting. And then the same person, I need to get their username, they were very intelligent, they said, it fuels some of Thrawn's interactions particularly with Price later on.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's sort of like, my job is on the line here. I'm trying to defend this project, and I can't. You're messing it up. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see that playing out throughout the rest of the season.
And it's interesting, like, I don't want to spoil anything, because we are just started this last season. There's another reason that the Emperor is interested in Loth.
Yes.
So I'm sure Thrawn is aware of that as well.
And I wonder if that calls back to what Minister 2 has said in season 2.
I just thought of that in my brain right away.
Maybe not, because I don't think they had it planned out.
Yeah.
It could have just been her like, oh, well, she said something important's got to happen on Lothal. We better come up with something. Maybe it was that. But yeah, I did think about that.
So, when you first saw this episode, what was your first reaction to the Loth Wolf? And what was your thoughts when the episode ends and Ezra's telling Kanan, hey, I saw this animal, and he's like, oh no, I believe you. We'll figure out where it goes from here. Like, what were your initial thoughts? Trying to go back that far.
I obviously knew that there was some sort of Force connection.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what. Nor was I consumed by it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember, but the internet was so interested in these Loth wolves.
Yeah, no.
Like, follow the Loth wolf. What's it gonna tell us? I'm like, I don't care at this moment. Like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I'm more interested in liberating Lothal. What does this Loth wolf have to do with? But, I mean, I guess they're kind of interested in, like, they're destroying their planet, their home.
Yeah.
It's like the spirits got mad. Sorry, pulling out another Avatar reference. The spirits got mad that they were polluting the planet. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe, I mean, there might be truth in that, because Sabine even says, or when Ezra's telling Sabine what he saw, he's like, well, they haven't been seen in like, did he say thousands of years?
Yes, I think he says thousands.
So maybe you're right. Maybe all the pollution, like, they came out and they were mad.
Called up Captain Planet, like, nope. Like, the Loth wolves are just the Planeteers for Lothal.
Might be.
What was your reaction to the Loth wolves?
I thought it was another similar thing to the Loth cats, like the white Loth cat. You know, and him appearing on his top of his head was really adorable. But I thought they were just that, but stronger in the Force. The only thing I was confused on and very intrigued, that colored me intrigued, was the very end. Like, and Kanan's like, well, we'll figure out what they, you know.
What it means.
I feel like there was a bigger thing with them. I like mystery, so I wanted to figure out, okay, but I wasn't as obsessed with the internet. The internet went crazy about these wolves, but
I feel like you had just the right enough obsession. You weren't like me, who was like, Force stuff. What's going on over here?
Yeah. And I love temples and stuff and the Force.
Yeah.
All that type of stuff. So.
You love all the mystic stuff.
Yeah, the mystic stuff.
Yeah, for me, I was just like, I guess that means something. But I don't know what. Does the wolf say Dume here as well?
Yes, it does.
Okay, yeah. I was like, what?
Okay, so I thought, sorry, going down a rabbit hole with this, I thought he said Dume as in D-O-O-M. But part of my brain was like, no, that's, Kanan's name is Caleb Dume.
D-U-M-E. Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out, what is it talking about? Because all the trailers I had seen at this point for this season were very bleak.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, Doom, as in we're screwed? Or like, has something to do with Kanan? Like, I was very interested in that.